Hello, I'm Diana Cadoldi and I'm the founder of the Nature Coaching Academy. In this video, I want to introduce you to the new organization and structure of the courses that we offer at the Nature Coaching Academy. So join me for this exploration where I will share with you how we got here, sharing with you the essence of our passions and our work over the past decades. And let me also share some of the key aspects of our philosophy, unique philosophy of coaching and working in synergy with body and nature. And I will also introduce you our upcoming programs, so stay with me, and I will be also receiving any question after you watch this video and you have downloaded the various brochures with all the details for logistics, pricing, and the details of the programs. So I will be available for you if any additional question emerges while you listen to me. Let me share my screen with you so we can go through the various topics that I have designed. Okay, so in this presentation, I will share with you the essence of our global community and how it has been built over the past few years. Some parts of our mission, the core of what moves us to do our work in this field, some foundational definitions around forest coaching, nature coaching, ecosomatic coaching, and more. And then again, some details about our upcoming programs. In the handout that goes with this presentation, you will also find this slide that recaps my journey so far. The essence of what I've been doing, researching, exploring since the late 90s, where I started exploring my interconnection with nature, with my teachers and mentors, who made me experience a different way to stay with myself and with nature. And since then, I have been exploring and practicing on my own in so many different environments what I was learning from my teachers and mentors. So all these is part of the of what I share within the Nature Coaching Academy. I want to appreciate the mentors that I've had over these past 3 decades, basically. One for sure is my apple tree, one of my best friends, I have to say, ecological friends. He is my partner in self-discovery, self-awareness, and personal growth since the early 2000s. Then more recently, over the past 5 years or so, even this beautiful river that flows 15 minutes by bike from where I live here in the lower plains of the Bergamo area in Italy, River Adda, I feel, is really like an aunt for me, and she's been teaching most of the insights and learnings that now make up the teachings of the Nature Coaching Academy. And I also have other beautiful mentors in the natural world. This is Little Grove, a little wood that grows right behind my house here in the, again, lower Bergamo plains. But also Camonica Valley, where I have my chalet, is becoming a part of the wise mentors that I feel are giving me learnings every time I connect with them. And if you will ever join one of our in-person workshops, you are going to know all of these mentors that I have just showed you. These are the natural mentors, but I also have, incredibly, some human mentors as well. And these are the most influential teachers I had: Claude Coldy with sensitive dancing, and Maya Cornacchia, she still is my mentor. She is also one of the trainers at the Nature Coaching Academy. And then very impactful for my growth have been the teachings of Monica Gagliano, especially regarding the relationship with plants. Monica is an acclaimed scientist researching on plants ethology and communication. And then I also discovered later, like 10 years ago, after 2 decades of personal explorations with nature, I also came to know John Young's work and found so many resonances between what I was discovering and his approach, his frameworks. He's just an amazing guy, and I trained with him in Scotland like 10 years ago. I took the master's degree at the University of Florence with Stefano Mancuso, a world-renowned scientist, famous for his studies on plants intelligence. Then very influential for my growth have also been the teachings of Andrea Olsen and Karen McHose, which I have been so lucky to meet last year, also for a workshop in Italy. But their books were my companions since already more than a decade, and I really appreciate their definitions of body, earth, and place, which are one of the foundations of the Nature Coaching Academy, and I will say something more about that in a few slides. Then for my growth as a coach and a leader, and a women leader especially, I really want to mention Tara Morse and her Tara Morse training on women leadership, the program Play Big. I'm a trained facilitator with her approach, and she's just an amazing coach, and I really advise I strongly advise getting to know her work. And then I have some very strong sources of inspiration, which are Chandra Livia Candiani. She's a philosopher. I would say she's a poet, but I think she is, for me, more even a philosopher than a poet. And her 2 books, 2 of her very famous books are the mandatory readings at the Nature Coaching Academy. And then I've also been studying biomimicry with the Biomimicry 3.8 organization, and Janine Benyus's book on biomimicry was really influential, and biomimicry is definitely one of the key aspects and approaches and frameworks in the Nature Coaching Academy in our work with nature. And finally, Theory U with Otto Scharmer. I trained with him in various programs. I really love Theory U, and his work is so influential on anything leadership. So these are the main sources of inspiration and learning that I've had, and I just wanted to mention them because what you're about to hear comes from these leaders. So this photo comes from one of the earliest experiences I led with groups in synergy with nature, and this is the apple tree that I just showed you in a different slide in my garden. So let me welcome you in our living ecosystem of shared intent. This is how I like to think of the community of all the alums that we've had at the Nature Coaching Academy since it started in 2019. So it all started thanks to this being that I already introduced you, and at a certain point, after 8 or 9 years practicing ways to really connect with nature and learn about myself and regulate my emotions and access different ways of thinking and addressing my challenges, my problems, and my choices and decisions, all the mess that we sometimes have in our heads, when we find a different way to stay with ourselves and with nature, we just reconnect with an inner compass. And that's exactly what this tree taught me for so long. It taught me about relating with respect for myself while relating with respect for another living being. It allowed myself to feel grounded and rooted and find my guiding values while at the same time being in a relationship and listening and opening to a different way to think. So this tree for a decade, and now I would say so it was in 2009 or 2001 or 2002 that I started really practicing this kind of deep nature connection. And so since then, I learned so much. And in 2009, I thought, God, it's so empowering and so uplifting and so useful, these states of being that I'm practicing with this tree, that I really need to see these things I'm doing can work also for somebody else. And so this was the first nature group experiment. Again, this is the apple tree, and this was like, okay, let's see if these things I'm finding can work also for somebody else. And yes, it worked. And so fast forward, after 10 more years of practicing, exploring, testing, refining, I finally decided to launch the Nature Coaching Academy. And this was like one of the very first cohorts that we led. And this is, of course, Aunt Ada, Auntie, beautiful river where we have our workshops. And since 2019 until now, speaking in 2025, we graduated more than 70 coaches from our level 1 ICF accredited professional coaching course named Ecosomatic Coaching Training. In 2019, I was also speaking at Converge, the global conference, the most important conference in the world of coaching that at the time was held in the Czech Republic in Prague. And at the time, there was me talking about nature coaching in the global coaching realm, and Anna-Marie Watson, who was also having a conference on Walk and Talk. We met there, and we have been in touch ever since, and we are still synergizing a lot, especially for the Coaching Outdoors podcast, which she founded, and I have also been speaking at her podcast. And now she is also in charge of the Coaching Outdoors Live Festival in the UK, second edition happening in June 2025. I hope you may want to come this year and meet me in person in the UK. I will say more at the end of this presentation. Then the TED Talk came, the first ever and so far the only one on nature coaching, which I gave with my colleague, environmental scientist James Farrell for TEDx Aston University. And then the second TED Talk came last year on the nature of slowness, where I talk about slowing down, the importance of slowing down to connect with nature, to connect with our nature, and relearn how to listen to the natural environment around us to get to make wise decisions according to the natural intelligence that is everywhere around us and can tell us the best way to foster life for us and for future generations. And then now here we are with a refreshed lineup of trainers. Here you see some of them. So here is my beloved Maya Cornacchia, the biologist, Simone Ciocca, who provides a deep awareness of the social aspects of nature and how ecology works in a given environment. Arnaldo Savorelli, I named him Wild Man because he integrates instinctual archery. He names it core archery in a beautiful in-person workshops that we do for the Forest Coaching Certificate. And then we have our mindfulness expert, Nicola Castelli, and Azzurra Spina, my trainer for the Ecosomatic Coaching Foundation Schools, and Sara Marzo, who is a brilliant coach working with youth and providing dedicated workshops on rewilding. And this is the Fairy of Music, our coach, Claudia Antonelli, that really brings the power and the spirit of music, and her colorful soul is just a must-have in any workshop because music is really important as an activator of relationship and connection. And this is my colleague, a PCC coach like me, professional certified coach, member of the International Coaching Federation, Chiara Cattaneo. She is a trainer, assessor, and mentor for the Ecosomatic Coaching training program. Again, some of the coaches who graduated with us, I always love to share some of the beautiful faces that you can meet in our courses. And so far, I also have to share that beyond the Nature Coaching Academy, I'm working with groups in natural environments and with various activities, with coaching, with music experiences, nature connection experiences, community building, team building experiences. And so far, I've personally designed and led over 3,000 group experiences with over 30,000 participants since the year, actually the year 2000. This is a typo. So yeah, I know what it takes to design powerful experiences and lead them with confidence. And this is exactly what we teach in especially two of our programs, the nature coaching and the forest coaching programs, which are dedicated to group coaching in synergy with body and nature. And today, here we are, ready to launch a new course structure, the result of 5 years co-creating with my students, because yes, I have a very solid foundation with all the studies and researches I did for 3 decades, but it's only after I started sharing those things with others that I really understood what was really valuable to be shared. And what we learned together with my 70 plus graduated coaches is really now, has really reshaped even the content and the key traits of our coaching philosophy. So I really owe a lot of respect and gratefulness for all the students who have been studying with us, because they are actually the protagonists of the new course of the Nature Coaching Academy. Just before we dive into our programs, let me share with you our mission and what really lies at the heart of what we do. I want to start by quoting Joanna Macy. She's a famous American ecologist, the creator of the work that reconnects. You may have heard of her. She's really influential. And she says, the global crisis is, in essence, a crisis of perception. There can be no technological fix, but only a revolution in the way we perceive ourselves and our relationship with the earth. So we are at a point where burnt out people are burning the planet with unwise decisions, short-term decisions, decisions that come out of survival mode ways of thinking, of disconnected brain states and mind states. And so how can we be wise in such a disconnected mindset and paradigm that forces us to detach from our bodies, from one another, and from our planet, just to pursue a restless rush towards producing more and more and being a part of a disconnected paradigm. So we are really critical of the current economic, capitalistic way of not just producing or making economies, but really it becomes a way of living, which is based on extraction, expoliation of natural resources, violation of human rights, natural rights, and just based on destruction for human purposes. So we want to revert this. This is exactly what we want to impact. We want to empower people in looking at their lives from different perspectives and enabling them to reconnect with that inner compass, that organic wisdom that we share with the natural environment all around us. And nature has been evolving life since 3.8 billion years ago, creating a wealth of resources to support the life of all living beings, not just one species. So what we offer is a way to reconnect with that wider ecosystemic intelligence that has solutions, has ideas, knows how to solve the mess and the polycrisis that we are into. But to do that, we need to disconnect from just the thinking mind and really reconnect with our organic mind, where lies the direct continuity with the land, the place, and the earth, and its wisdom, her wisdom. And we think that the missing link is connecting with our hearts and reawaken that felt sense of affiliation with life and all living beings. The practices that we offer enable us to experience the ecosomatic continuum, which is the name we give at that state where we feel we belong, that we are a part of something wider. And this is profoundly healing for our disconnected psyche, forced to disconnect from the living fabric that we belong to with the rest of the living beings all around us. So this is where the magic happens, when we feel that we interconnect with our hearts, with something wider that has a value in and of itself. So it's about re-enchanting our connection with nature. It's about remembering what it means to be human. And I like to recall that human is a word that derives from the ancient Latin humanus, which derives from homo, which derives from humus, the fertile soil. So being human really means belonging to the soil, being of the soil. So as you can understand, the Nature Coaching Academy is founded in personal growth. And we offer ways, and we teach ways, and we experience ways together with our students to live the body as nature, as an aspect of nature, and to find practices to feel at one with nature and to awaken our sense of interbeing and interbelonging. So this is what it means to discover the ecosoma continuum. Give ourselves the experience of staying in that place of interbeing and interbelonging, where you feel that you're not anymore isolated, an isolated individual, but that you are a part of something wider that has an intelligence that is yours as well, and that you can use to orient yourself in front of any challenge, any difficulty, any choice, any challenge you may have. So a big part of our teachings, especially in the in-person workshops, but it happens also during our online programs, is learning how to experience, how to access ecosomatic states of consciousness, where eco and soma are experienced on a continuum, and where you have this felt perception of being a part of nature, because we all know it here. I mean, it makes sense. Even more recently, because in the past, some philosophers thought that we are totally disconnected from nature, instead that we are better than nature, or should be on a higher level than the natural world. And this is something that is really ingrained in the Western kind of thinking that dates back to Aristotle and even previously. So Aristotle was posing the homo studiosus, which means the man who studies, like at the top level of in the various levels of life. The first one being the rocks and the stones, who just exist but don't have life. So from that kind of thinking to thinking that we are a part of the natural world, and that the natural world has an inherent intelligence, there is already a very big leap. But sometimes we just know it, but we don't feel it. So with this piece of our programs, we really need to reestablish that feeling of belonging. And then, of course, so personal growth then leads to professional growth, because based on this different way to stay with yourself and with nature, then you can learn how to facilitate those states and those possibilities also for others. And this is where our courses come. So we have the Ecosomatic Coaching Training, which is the ICF Level 1 Professional Coach Training accredited by the International Coaching Federation, 124 hours, of which 40 are in a 5 days in-person workshop. And then we have the Forest Coaching and Nature Coaching Journeys and certificates, which we are still in the process of requesting continuous coaching education units, which is CCUs, which already graduated coaches can use to request an ICF credential as a credential coach, or renew their credential as an ICF credentialed coach. So Forest Coaching is, again, a program that lasts 40 hours in-person workshop and 40 hours online. And the same goes for the Nature Coaching program, which I will tell you more in a few slides about. So personal growth, professional growth. Personal growth, you work on yourself, you learn on yourself. What you then, professional growth, you will facilitate for others. And then there is collective growth, the result that we hope to achieve through the body of our coaches doing this kind of work with their clients on their territories, with their local communities. This is exactly where all this architecture leads to a paradigm shift, where we want to really enable our communities to retrieve this sense of belonging and being a part of, to heal and repair our social and cultural systems, which are at a very difficult point in history, where we see a lot of injustice, both on humans and other beings. Our ecological relatives are suffering for a mass extinction at a rate that has never been seen on the planet before. And the climate crisis is just a symptom of a deeper internal spiritual and existential crisis that is devastating humans on a global scale. And this is demonstrated by the increasing rates of suicides, consumption of medicines for mental illnesses, and sociopathies, and urban violence, and the increasing rates of addictions from substances. So all these numbers tell that we are not okay with this way of living, and that we need to rethink the way we live on this planet, which is ours, but not ours alone. And perhaps there is a shift we need to make to include the rest of life in our scope. So our mission is really to awaken this sense of interbeing, belonging, and co-creation with the rest of the natural world, to support the emergence of a new paradigm based on spiritual, collective, and ecological repair. And these, I would say, revolutionary way of conceiving coaching with nature has also been underpinned by the famous Coaching Perspectives magazine. On the cover of the latest issue, was published in January, they say Ecosomatic Coaching, a paradigm shift. And in this magazine, I published an article on Ecosomatic Coaching, a very long article that you will find linked in the handout that goes along with this video, with this presentation. So if you want, you can read it. And I've also published another article on the 8 natural archetypes, which is the focus of the Nature Coaching certificate that I will now tell you more about. Let's share some of the key concepts that lie at the heart of my research and practice. So I'm just reading them and commenting them from this slide. So we aimed to interconnect somatic intelligence, so the intelligence that belongs to our bodies, with collective intelligence, the intelligence that belongs to a group of individuals together with a certain bond, mutual bond and reciprocity, with ecosystemic intelligence, with the intelligence that belongs to the wider places where we are. So these three levers are all interconnected and lie on the ecosoma continuum. And what we aim for is dissolving boundaries to find ourselves whole again in a whole planet, living among the living beings, all around us. Radical ecopsychology as a decolonial praxis for climate justice is one of the foundational frameworks we have, especially for the radical critique of the capitalist, disconnected, extractive, and spoliative system. Nature is always a subject. We never conceive nature as a thing, or an object, or a background. We always think nature as a co-coach in our sessions, as a partner in our group experiences, and we know and we integrate nature as such in the way we design programs and the way we lead the workshops. So this is, I think, the essence of what we do, and it is also something that distinguishes us from many other schools or approaches. There is a way to really work in this direction in a way that is substantial and not just a theoretical way. We believe and we know and we experience that every place has a living interior and a deep identity. It's the Genius Loci. It's another way to say the point number 3. So every place has an identity, a living aspect, a living character. And there are ways by which we can learn about it and really learn how to dialogue with it and integrate the place with everything we do with any person in our group experiences. I mean, strong belief we have is that we need to shift our inner space and access slower, deeper states of consciousness to reconnect ourselves into the wider ecosystemic intelligence. And this is what we mean by accessing ecosomatic states of consciousness. Group experiences are essential to speed up the learning curve, but not just for that, but also especially to reconnect with our need for belonging to a community. It's not just about us and nature, us individually and nature. It's about us in community with other people, other beings, and nature. This is really reparative in our brains, in our psyche. This is one of the foundational needs for all human beings is to belong to a community, and not just to a human community, a tribe, like it has always been for our ancestors since thousands of years ago, but also to a community made up of ancestors, the ones who are alive, the ones who are dead, the ancestors that live in the land, the ecological ancestors, the place and its beings, living beings that make up the wider extended community that something inside of us really longs to reconnect with. So this is why we also think it's really important to do in-person workshops, and we don't absolutely want to do everything online, even though there is so much demand from a global audience, which we have. But honestly, we conceive the online learning as the place where we process the theory beyond the practice, which is the most important aspect of our teachings. So the in-person workshops are necessary for any certificate that we provide. No workshop, no certificate, basically, because that's where the learning really happens, because learning is always a relational thing. It cannot happen with people watching a recorded video in front of a screen on their own inside their houses. We really think that learning is a relational experience that includes bodies and emotions and energies and places, and this is why we really want to welcome people to have in-person experiences with us, because it changes everything. I'd like to offer you the definition that we give at the moment, because this definition is ever changing. Every time I look at it, I find something to fix or change based on the recent discoveries that we do. So just let me read it, and hopefully I will not find already in this moment something to change, but let's see. Coaching is a relationship. Yes, I like it. I confirm. That reconnects the person to their natural inner compass and to a radical trust in the intelligence of life, expanding the potential for action and evolution, both personal and collective, in the desired direction. In ecosomatic coaching, this relationship is rooted in expanding the sense of self, identity, presence, belonging, integrity, and capacity for care, through deep and intentional reconnection with body and earth, awakening the felt sense of our interdependence and belonging with life's vibrant network. And just let me check if the recording is still active. Yeah, it is. Okay, just in case, you never know. Okay, so yeah, for the moment, this definition still works. Perhaps with the next cohort of students, we may tweak something, who knows. I really love about our teachings that they are a living being as well, and they change with every cohort and they keep expanding. So we like to see the coach as an energy shifter. This key concept comes from my training with Tara Moore. It was eye-opening, and it was the perfect label for everything that I was already exploring and experiencing since a couple of decades with my work. So we see the coach as an energy shifter, a person who enables a space for the clients, for the groups they work with, to change how they perceive themselves from the inside. And this is because we need to change the inside to change our outside, meaning we need to change in here to create outer change out here, different choices, different ways of behaving. So it all starts from the inside, and embodiment, contemplative practices, and deep nature connection is how we facilitate this process of shifting our inner space. So shifting our inner space includes accessing nature's intelligence. When you are in the ecosoma continuum, then you are in the direct continuity with this wider intelligence that encompasses our individual intelligence. And that's when we can download ideas, inspiration, insights, wisdom that change the way we see things. That problem that I was thinking so hard upon since a week, the right approach to handling that difficult conversation, the right choice around that so excruciating topic that I was still reflecting upon since a long time. So all those problems in the right perspective, you just find the right way to approach it. And that's the magic of accessing ecosomatic states of consciousness. So I mentioned Andrea Olson, and I really want to share with you the definitions that you find in her amazing book, strongly suggested, Body and Earth, because they are the foundation of our teachings. I discovered these definitions after many years working with nature in the way we do. And when I found them, I understood why I was working in such a way. So they really provide a beautiful way to frame why working with the body, why embodiment for nature connection and for coaching. And she says, body refers to what it means to be human. The parts may sometimes be referred to individually as soma, soul, spirit, psyche, physical body, intuitive body, energy body, thinking body, mental body, or collectively as person, self, I. In our study, the word body, in our study, which is her study, the word body is an inclusive term referring to the whole being. So we are a body. We are body. Earth. refers to all aspects of our planet. The parts may sometimes be referred to individually as atmosphere, ecosphere, biosphere, hydrosphere, geosphere, mantle, crust, core, or collectively as Gaia, globe, planet. In our study, Earth is an inclusive term referring to the whole planet, and this is what I love so much. The body is an aspect of the Earth. We are an aspect of the Earth, and just one of them. By chance, I get to be named Diana, but this thing is just an aspect of the Earth. And this is one of the essential practices that we do, entering that state where you don't feel anymore the I, but you just feel a part of, like a living substrate of perceptions. And this is so liberating and so refreshing and so uplifting. Last piece of definitions, place refers to a particular part of the earth that we know through the direct experience in the body. Relationship to place is a process of assimilation without which there can be no understanding. It is through the interaction with specific landscapes and environments that our movement patterns, perceptual habits, and attitudes have been formed. As we reflect on the places that have shaped our lives, we recognize that body affects place and place affects body in a constant process of exchange. And this is also the essence. I mean, some pieces of this definition also come into my TED Talk on the nature of slowness, where I say that we are the places we frequent. And this is also a time for you perhaps to assess where do you hang out more frequently, which places are shaping your identity day after day with all the hours you spend there. And perhaps you may want to frequent more of natural places to have a different perception of yourself and shape your identity accordingly. So this is why at the Nature Coaching Academy, we work with embodiment, body to connect with place, to connect with earth. So let's go to some definitions about our work. What is nature coaching? According to our definition, you may find out that there are more than one definition. There's more than one definition of nature coaching. If you type in Google, what is nature coaching, you may find the very first article that was written about nature coaching, defining nature coaching on the blog of the International Coaching Federation in 2019. So we say it is an approach to coaching developed in connection with nature, not in a simple presence of nature, with nature as a co-coach. What it means is what we teach. So the scope for us is restoring human beings to their natural ability to care for themselves and their whole relational ecosystem, human and more than human. The Nature Coaching Certificate is focused on the integration of a coaching mindset in leading group experiences with an embodied, nature-connected, and contemplative approach. So this course is great even for persons who are not yet professional coaches, but who work with, who would like to work with groups in nature, in synergy with nature, and learning our approach is in integration with a coaching mindset as well. So it's also a course that can access already graduated coaches who want to extend their range of competencies towards integrating a coaching mindset in leading group experiences in synergy with body and nature. And the nature coaching program we teach is especially focused on the 8 natural archetypes framework, where we go through each of the natural archetypes that we teach. This is the framework of the Nature Coaching Academy. So this is, yeah, mainly the focus. So you finish, as you complete this certificate, you have dozens and dozens of practices to connect with each of these natural archetypes, which are basically environments. So you get the chance to have such a nuanced relationship with the different aspects of our beautiful planet. So this is the focus of the Nature Coaching course. Forest coaching, in our definition, focuses especially on the synergy with the tree and forest. So the Forest Coaching Certificate is focused on the integration of a coaching mindset, again, according to the definition of coaching provided by the International Coaching Federation, which is the most important international organization in the world of professional coaching. And I'm a member of it, and our programs are accredited by the International Coaching Federation. In leading group experiences with an embodied, nature-connected, and contemplative approach. And what is the difference between mindfulness, meditation, and contemplation is a part of the journey that we provide. We prefer to use the contemplative approach rather than just a merely mindful approach, and we will explain you why if you join our courses. So special focus is placed on the archetypes of the tree, the forest, and the garden. And a special in-depth practice is also dedicated to coaching with nature in a urban environment and to Pratica Arborea, which is one of the foundational practices that we do, and we teach it exactly in this course. And then finally, our level 1 ICF accredited professional coach training, the ecosomatic coaching training. Ecosomatic comes from eco, in ancient Greek means house, and soma, meaning body in ancient Greek. So ecosomatic coaching focuses on reintegrating body and nature to enable innovative perspectives on ourselves, our challenges, the way we perceive ourselves, and our relationships. At the Nature Coaching Academy, the ecosomatic coaching training is a level 1 ICF accredited professional coach training with a globally recognized diploma for 124 hours. And it is focused on integrating coaching, nature connection, embodiment, and contemplative practices. This is the base for all courses in this time individual coaching journeys. So while nature coaching and forest coaching are focused on group dynamics and group experiences and are really practices that you can use even if you are even if you are a therapist, not a coach, but a therapist, a trainer, an educator, a facilitator of any kind, a leader wanting to work more with people with these tools. This is especially to become a coach, a professional coach. And it's based on the integration of the three roots of our work. So, upcoming programs, we have the Ecosomatic Coaching Foundations course. The English cohort is starting on June 25th and will last until August 25. There is a little typo here, August 20. And then we have the in-person workshops in beautiful Val Camonica, Camonica Valley. You can purchase separately these three pieces of the whole ecosomatic coaching training. Usually people start with this is the mandatory course that is preliminary and introductory to any other course. So even to attend the forest coaching training or the nature coaching training, you need to first attend the ecosomatic coaching foundations course, because that course provides the foundations for you to fully enjoy and understand and make yours the teachings of any other learning journey with us. Also, it's the most, it's the cheapest of our courses. So with a modest investment, you can have a taste. You can taste how we teach and the essence of our work, and decide if you want to then invest in something bigger for your personal and professional growth. So the Ecosomatic Coaching Foundations course is starting in June, ends in August, just before the in-person nature immersion in Camonica Valley. And then to complete the level 1 ICF accredited coach training diploma, you need to attend from September to January 2026, 64 additional online hours of learning, both synchronous and asynchronous, with everything you need to obtain your diploma, including the final exam and performance evaluation. So I would really love for you to meet in beautiful Camonica Valley. These are photos from our one of our latest retreats. This is a white sandy beach at 1,800 meters altitude in the Alps. This is the beautiful places in the Alps that we visit because the mountain is the best coach we may ever be taught coaching by. So this is really a beautiful experience. I have no other words. These are all photos for my, all the photos in this presentation come from my experiences and workshops, but even these ones. Then we have the Nature Coaching Certificate. So this is focused. This is a parallel journey. You first join the Ecosomatic Coaching Foundations, and then in next fall, you have the in-person workshop on beautiful Ischia Island, volcanic island in front of Naples in southern Italy. And so there is the in-person workshop and then the subsequent online learning journey, 40 hours, going deep into the 8 natural archetypes. And these are photos from the workshop on the beautiful volcanic island of Ischia, where we have the sea, the mountain, Epomeo, a magical mountain. We have forests inside volcano calderas. So it's just an amazing experience. And you get with this course all our workbooks to connect with each of the various archetypes and the adventure guides and so many tools and resources that make up this certificate. And it's going to be accredited by the International Coaching Federation for the continuous growth of professional coaches providing CCUs. Forest Coaching Certificate, again, the focus will be on the tree, the forest, the urban nature, and the garden archetype. The same, the in-person workshop happening in April, and then the online course happening between May and July next year. Yeah, I know it's there's a lot of time to think about this, but you may consider if it's useful for you. So again, we invite you to join the next Forest Coaching Workshop next year. These are some of the amazing photos we took during one of our latest workshops where we stay both in the Prealps of Lessinia near Verona and along the beautiful River Adda just near Milan, so very easily reachable as well. And again, the Forest Coaching Certificate integrates group coaching with contemplative practices, connection with nature, and embodiment. And we, in this specific training, the Forest Coaching training, we teach practices for ecosomatic activation, nature bathing, forest bathing, especially for the Forest Coaching Certificate, practice of organic work, arborea practice, and dozens of group practices centered on connecting with trees, waters, forest. And special focus is placed on plant intelligence and plant ethology. So how would it be to coach like this? How would it be to coach like this? Or like this? Or like this? But even online, how would it be to do ecosomatic coaching online? Because it is possible to also integrate body and nature when we coach our clients indoors or outdoors, but on the line, on the phone or via Zoom. So enrollment is open. If you're listening to this video before April 22nd, we may still have some days before releasing the complete brochures dedicated to each of the learning journeys that I described, each of the 3 learning journeys. So please be patient. If you're listening and watching this video after April 22nd, you should be able to enroll to any of our upcoming courses. And there is a special discount, 10% discount, if you have If you are a part of our priority list, you can go to our website and subscribe. If you have not done that yet, if you're not on our list, that's the way you can get a 10% discount, which will be usable until May 31st. And again, the Ecosomatic Coaching Foundations course is the very first course starting that allows you to access any other course for the future. So me and Azzurra are waiting for you, and we can't wait to meet you online for these foundational coaching journeys. Let's create together deeper dialogues and wider belongings. And if you live in the UK or want to come to the UK this June 2025, between 19th and 20th, there is an amazing event, Coaching Outdoors Live at Henley Business School. It's like the Gotha for coaching in the world, where I will be with many colleagues from all over the world teaching 2 workshops for a very special price. You can attend all workshops for 2 days and enjoy many different ways to coach in synergy with nature. So in the handout that goes along with this video, you will find the link to learn more and register. And I really hope that you have appreciated this time, me sharing with you the heart of what we really want to give and share with other persons that feel a call to expand their ways of being with themselves and with nature. And I hope to meet you soon in one of our upcoming events. Ciao from Italy and from me and from all the Nature Coaching Academy.